The night the sky turned red, Daniel Carter thought it was the beginning of a forest fire. He had seen worse. 5 years as a forest ranger had taught him that nature could look apocalyptic without actually ending the world. Storms rolled like monsters. Lightning split trees in half. Once, a small aircraft had crashed deep in the northern valley and burned for 2 days straight. But this was different. The clouds weren't reflecting light. They were glowing from inside. Daniel stepped out of his cabin slowly, boots crunching against frozen dirt. The forest was too quiet. No wind, no insects, no distant animal calls. Even the trees felt like they were holding their breath. The sky above him shimmered dark crimson, spreading outward like spilled ink. Then, a streak, a bright object tore across the atmosphere, too fast for a plane, too controlled for a meteor. It didn't fall randomly. It curved. It aimed. 3 seconds later, the ground pulsed. Not a violent earthquake, just one heavy impact that rattled his windows and made dust fall from the cabin roof. His radio exploded into static. No voice, just noise. Daniel grabbed his flashlight and truck keys. Probably space junk, he muttered. But deep down, he already knew he was lying to himself. The forest road twisted through black trees like a narrow scar. His headlights barely cut through the darkness. The closer he drove toward the mountains, the stranger it felt. No deer crossing the road. No owls. No movement at all. After 10 minutes, he saw smoke rising between the trees. Not thick wildfire smoke. Something smaller. Focused. He parked and continued on foot. The smell hit him first. Burned soil. Melted bark. And something metallic. He pushed through broken branches and stopped at the edge of a crater. It wasn't massive, maybe 20 feet wide. The ground inside was cracked and glowing faintly red. Small flames flickered like dying candles. At the center, something moved. Daniel tightened his grip on the flashlight. At first, he thought it was a deer. Then it lifted its head. 2 glowing golden eyes locked onto him. Daniel froze. It was small, no bigger than a large cat. Its body was covered in dark scales, reflecting the firelight. 2 tiny wings trembled weakly against its back. Smoke escaped from its nostrils in slow curls. It looked like something drawn in an ancient book. A dragon. That's not possible, Daniel whispered. The creature tried to stand and collapsed. Its ribs were visible beneath the scales. It wasn't dangerous. It was starving. Daniel swallowed his fear. Slowly, carefully, he stepped into the crater. The dragon made a weak growl, not threatening, just tired. He removed his backpack. Inside was a packed lunch and water. He pulled out a piece of cooked chicken wrapped in paper. Easy, he said softly. I'm not here to hurt you. He placed the meat a few feet away and stepped back. The dragon sniffed. Its golden eyes flickered toward the food. Slowly, painfully, it crawled forward, dragging one wing behind it. Daniel felt something strange inside his chest. Fear, yes, but also pity. The dragon opened its mouth. Small sharp teeth gleamed in firelight. It swallowed the meat almost whole. Then it looked at him again. Not angry, not scared, still hungry. That's all I have, Daniel said quietly. The dragon's eyes dropped to his hand. There was still grease on his finger. Daniel barely had time to react. The dragon lunged. Chomp! Pain shot through his hand. He pulled back instinctively. The bite wasn't deep, but it broke skin. One drop of blood slid down his finger and fell onto the dragon's tongue. And then, silence. The dragon froze. Its body stiffened. Its eyes began glowing brighter. The air around Daniel grew warmer. The ground beneath him trembled, not like impact, like a heartbeat, a pulse. Red light spread through the cracks in the crater floor. Symbols appeared in a glowing circle around them. Not letters. Not any language Daniel knew. The dragon lifted slightly off the ground, suspended in burning light. Daniel tried to step back. His legs wouldn't move. His finger burned, not surface pain. It felt like heat moving through his veins. The dragon's eyes locked onto his. And suddenly, Daniel felt something inside his mind. Not words, not images, feelings, hunger, loneliness, fear, and then recognition. The symbols flared bright red, then vanished. The shaking stopped. The air cooled. The dragon dropped gently back onto the cracked earth. Daniel collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. He looked at his finger. No wound, no blood, no scar. Slowly, he lifted his head. The dragon was standing now. Its wings no longer dragged. Its body looked stronger, healthier. It walked toward him calmly. Daniel didn't move. The dragon stopped inches away. And then it did something impossible. It lowered its head, not in weakness, in acknowledgement. High above Earth, satellites that no human knew existed activated silently. A signal was sent across deep space. 3 words. Dragon blood bond detected. Far beyond the solar system. Ancient eyes opened. Back in the crater, Daniel whispered one trembling sentence. What'd I just do? The dragon lifted its head, and the sky flickered red again. Daniel did not sleep that night. He brought the dragon back to his cabin because leaving it alone in the crater felt wrong. The forest was still silent, unnaturally silent. It was as if every living thing had gone into hiding. The dragon walked beside him without hesitation. Not weak anymore, not confused, aware. When Daniel opened the truck door, the dragon leapt into the passenger seat smoothly, landing like it had done it 100 times before. It didn't look scared of the vehicle. It didn't look curious. It simply watched. The entire drive back, its golden eyes tracked the dark trees rushing past the window. Inside the cabin, Daniel locked every door. He turned on the lights. The dragon stood in the middle of the room, studying everything. The wooden walls, the old stove, the maps pinned near the desk. What are you? Daniel whispered. The dragon tilted its head. Then Daniel felt it again. Pressure. Not outside. Inside his mind. Not painful. Clear. A sensation of hunger, but not for food. Energy. The dragon's eyes flickered to his hand. The same finger. Daniel stepped back. No, absolutely not. The dragon didn't lunge. It simply stared. Then the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then every bulb exploded. Glass shattered across the floor. The cabin plunged into darkness. Outside, the wind rose violently. Trees bent. Branches snapped. The dragon moved to the window and looked up. Daniel followed its gaze through the broken glass. The stars were moving, not drifting, shifting. Red lines appeared high above the clouds, forming sharp geometric patterns. Invisible ships revealing themselves. Daniel grabbed his old hunting rifle from the wall. It felt useless the moment he held it. A voice echoed in the sky, not through speakers, not through radio, through the air itself. The bond has been made. Daniel dropped the rifle. The dragon stepped closer to him. Its body began glowing faint red again, heat radiating off its scales. A massive shadow passed over the forest. Trees flattened as something enormous shifted in the clouds. The voice returned. Return the Dragon Master. Daniel swallowed. Dragon Master? The dragon looked up at him. And for the first time, Daniel saw something new in its eyes. Loyalty. The cabin door exploded inward. Not shattered. Disintegrated. 3 tall figures stepped through the smoke. They were not human. Their bodies were covered in dark metallic armor that moved like living skin. Smooth. Seamless. Their helmets had no visible openings, only glowing blue eye slits. No weapons visible, but power radiated from them. Daniel raised the rifle with shaking hands. Stay back. The middle figure tilted its head slightly. Human Daniel Carter, it said calmly. Daniel's blood went cold. You have formed a forbidden bond. What do you know my name? We observe all emergent anomalies. The dragon moved in front of Daniel. Its small wings spread, a low warning hiss escaping its throat. The alien looked down at it. A hatchling, it said quietly. Impossible. The other 2 figures extended their hands. Beams of soft blue light scanned the room, passing over Daniel and the dragon. Blood resonance confirmed. Ancient genetic signature detected. The leader turned toward Daniel again. The dragon blood bond was erased from this galaxy thousands of cycles ago. Your species was never meant to awaken it. Daniel's mind raced. I didn't awaken anything. It bit me. You bled, the alien replied. And it accepted you. The dragon suddenly roared. Not loud, deep. The sound vibrated through the cabin walls. The aliens took a subtle step back. A hatchling should not hold this level of energy, one said. Daniel felt heat surge through his chest. His heartbeat slowed. His fear faded. Without thinking, he lowered the rifle. He wasn't protecting himself. He was protecting the dragon. The alien leader raised its hand. By order of the Celestial Union, the Dragon Master must be taken for containment. The two armored figures stepped forward. Daniel moved in front of the dragon. No, the alien paused. You cannot resist us. Daniel didn't know why the next words came from him, but they did. He stays. The dragon's body erupted in red light. Windows shattered outward. The cabin shook violently. The aliens were thrown against the walls. Daniel felt fire move through his veins, but it didn't burn. Outside, the red symbols in the sky pulsed brighter. One of the aliens struggled to stand. This is not possible, it said. The bond is stabilizing. The leader looked at Daniel differently now. Concern. If the bond completes, it said slowly, every dragon in existence will hear the call. Daniel swallowed. What call? Before the alien could answer, the dragon lifted its head and roared. This time, the sound was not small. It was massive. It shook the mountains. It shook the ocean tides. It shook the planet. High above Earth, hidden warships powered on fully. Across deep space, ancient creatures opened burning eyes. Back inside the broken cabin, Daniel whispered one final question. What do we just start? The alien leader's voice was no longer calm. A war, it said quietly. And far beyond the solar system, something ancient began moving toward Earth. The roar did not fade. It spread. Across mountains. Across oceans. Across cities where people stopped mid-step and looked at the sky. Clouds twisted into a massive spiral above Earth. Satellites shut down. Power grids flickered. Every screen across the planet went black. Then one symbol appeared in the sky. A glowing red mark shaped like a dragon with its wings spread wide. Daniel stood in the ruins of his cabin, staring upward. The three armored aliens were on one knee. Not injured. Shaken. The beacon has activated. One of them whispered. Daniel turned. Beacon. The alien leader stood slowly. The dragon blood bond is not just connection. It is a signal. Daniel felt the dragon beside him change. Its scales darkened into deep crimson. Thin lines of glowing gold pulsed between them, like flowing lava. Its wings widened. Its eyes burned brighter. Outside, the wind became violent. Trees snapped. The sky cracked with thunder, but no lightning. Instead, space tore open. Above Earth, the red symbol split apart, and black fractures appeared across the atmosphere. Portals. Huge. Ancient. Ships emerged. Not sleek like human crafts. Not mechanical like the Celestial Union. These were shaped like blades. Living metal. Breathing hulls. Tens of thousands. Governments panicked. Missiles launched. Fighter jets scrambled. Every missile froze midair. Every jet stopped as if trapped in invisible glass. Daniel stared upward in disbelief. You said every dragon would hear the call, he said. The alien leader answered quietly. You are looking at their servants. One of the massive ships shifted. Its center opened. Something stepped out. It was not a ship, not a soldier, a dragon, but not like the hatchling. This one was enormous. Wings stretching longer than stadiums. Scales black as deep space, glowing faint blue. It hovered without moving its wings. Gravity bent around it. The alien leader dropped to one knee fully. The void dragon. Daniel felt pressure crush his chest. The hatchling did not kneel. It stepped forward and roared. A challenge. The massive void dragon slowly turned its head. Its ancient eyes focused on the forest. On Daniel. On the hatchling. The air grew heavier. Daniel dropped to one knee, gasping. The Celestial Union soldiers pressed their foreheads to the ground. The void dragon spoke. Not through sound. Through every mind on earth. Who has claimed the blood? Silence. Daniel forced himself up despite the pressure. I didn't claim anything, he shouted into the sky. The alien leader pointed. It is the human. The void dragon's eyes narrowed. A human cannot hold the bond. The hatchling stepped in front of Daniel and bowed, not to the void dragon, to him. A ripple of shock passed through the dragon fleet. It recognizes him, the alien leader whispered. Daniel felt something ignite inside his chest. Memories flashed. Ancient battlefields. Humans flying beside dragons. A throne made of flame. A crown burning in the sky. The hatchling grew. Bones stretched. Wings expanded. Its body doubled in size within seconds. Flames wrapped around it, but did not burn the forest. The void dragon descended slowly toward Earth. The alien leader spoke urgently. If the void dragon judges you false, it will burn this planet. Daniel swallowed. Why? Because a false dragon master cannot be allowed to exist. The void dragon hovered miles above the forest. Its shadow covered entire valleys. It lowered its massive head toward Daniel. Golden fire burned between its teeth. Prove. One word. Daniel didn't know how. He had no training, no knowledge of the first tongue. He only had instinct. He placed his hand on the dragon's head. The heat felt natural, not painful. The dragon roared again. But this time, Daniel felt the roar move through him. His mouth opened, and words came out. Not English, not learned, ancient, deep. The ground trembled with every syllable. The void dragon froze. Its eyes widened slightly. Above Earth, every dragon-shaped ship powered down its weapons. The alien leader stared in disbelief. He speaks the first tongue. Daniel had no idea what he said, but the void dragon did. Slowly, the ancient creature bowed its head. The alien fleet trembled, but before anyone could breathe, the sky cracked again. This tear was not red, not gold, black, so black it swallowed starlight. The void dragon moved back. The dragon fleet shifted defensively. The air temperature plummeted. From the darkness emerged something else. Not dragons, not living ships. A massive structure shaped like a floating city made of sharp black towers. Silent, cold. The alien leader's voice shook. The Null Empire. Daniel looked at him. Who are they? The ones who erased the dragon masters. The words hit like a punch. Erased. Not defeated. Erased. The void dragon roared in fury. The black structure responded instantly. Thousands of long black spears appeared above major cities across Earth. Hovering. Waiting. Gravity lances, the alien leader whispered. One strike erases a city. Daniel's heart pounded. The mechanical voice echoed across the planet. Anomaly detected. Royal bloodline reactivated. Termination required. Every screen on Earth flickered back on. The same message everywhere. Termination required. The spears lowered slightly. Pointing down, the void dragon looked at Daniel. Through the bond, Daniel felt the question. If he surrendered, the planet might live. If he refused, war. The alien leader stepped closer. If you go with them, they may spare Earth. May? Daniel asked. The alien didn't answer. The dragon beside him pressed close. Through their connection, Daniel felt one clear emotion. Loyalty. The mechanical voice began counting down. 10. The gravity lances glowed faintly. 9. The wind died completely. 8. Daniel remembered something. Not fully, just a feeling. Humans standing beside dragons in ancient war. 7. The alien leader whispered urgently. If you have any power inside you, now is the time. 5. The dragon roared, pressing its head against Daniel's chest. 4. Daniel closed his eyes. He wasn't a king. He wasn't a warrior. He was a ranger. 3. He protected forests. 2. He protected life. 1. Daniel looked up at the black structure. No. Silence. Then every gravity lance fired at once. Beams of black light shot downward towards cities across Earth. Daniel felt something inside him explode. The wound on his finger burned gold. The red crown symbol in the sky flared. Daniel screamed, not in fear, in command. The ancient words tore from his throat again. The dragon's wings snapped open. The void dragon roared. Time slowed. The black beams froze midair. Across the entire planet. Suspended. The alien fleet gasped. The mechanical voice hesitated. power level unexpected. Daniel's voice deepened. The air twisted around him. Flames formed a circle beneath his feet. The frozen black beams shattered into dust. Every single one. Across Earth, the dragon fleet roared. But the Null Empire did not retreat. The black structure opened at its center. A massive cannon began charging. Dark energy forming into a sphere larger than a mountain. The alien leader looked terrified. That is a planet breaker. Daniel looked up slowly. And if it fires? Earth is gone. The cannon charged brighter. The sky trembled. And far beyond the dragon fleet, new tiers opened. But these were not black. They were fire. Dozens. Hundreds. Thousands. Dragons emerged. Different colors. Different sizes. An army. The age of dragons had returned. And Earth was at the center of it. The sky was no longer sky. It was a battlefield. Fire and darkness collided above Earth in waves of blinding light. The planet breaker beam crashed against walls of dragon flame. Oceans trembled. Windows shattered across cities as shock waves rolled across continents. Daniel could barely stand. Every time a dragon roared, he felt it in his chest. Every time the Null Empire's darkness pushed forward, his heart tightened. The bond was no longer just connection. It was shared strength, shared pain. The dragon beside him, no longer a hatchling, had grown to the size of a bus. Its scales burned molten gold. Its wings stretched wide like living armor. Above them, the void dragon commanded in the first tongue. The dragon armada moved like one mind. But the Null Empire did not panic. The black structure behind the planet breaker shifted again. Its surface opened. This time, figures emerged. Tall, thin, wrapped in black armor that looked carved from shadow itself. No faces. Only empty masks. They did not fly. They simply appeared. Thousands of them. The alien leader whispered in horror. The Null Wardens. Daniel forced the question. What are they? They do not fight dragons. The alien's voice shook. They hunt dragon masters. The Wardens vanished. Not moved. Not flew. Vanished. Suddenly, Daniel felt something grab his mind. Cold. Violent. One Warden appeared directly in front of him. Reality glitched around its body. It raised one hand. Daniel's body lifted into the air. He could not breathe. The golden dragon roared and lunged, but 3 more Wardens appeared and slammed it into the ground with invisible force. The void dragon roared in fury from above, but it was too far. The battle in the sky could not stop this. The Warden spoke without a mouth. Royal host identified. Daniel felt pressure inside his skull. Memories, his and not his, were being pulled out. Ancient battles. The throne of fire. The crown in the sky. The first tongue. The Warden's grip tightened. Bloodline confirmed. Bloodline? Daniel gasped. The alien leader fired a weapon at the Warden. The beam passed straight through it. They exist between dimensions, he shouted. Physical attacks are useless. The golden dragon roared again, struggling to stand. Through the bond, Daniel felt something shift. Not fear, not loyalty, rage. The Warden raised its other hand. A thin black blade formed in the air. Erasure protocol. Daniel understood that word instinctively. Not death. Erasure. Like the dragon masters before him. Like history itself. The blade moved toward his chest. And suddenly, everything stopped. The wind froze. The flames froze. The Wardens froze. The battle in the sky paused. Daniel was no longer in the forest. He stood in endless darkness filled with stars. In front of him stood a figure made of golden fire. Not fully dragon. Not fully human. Both. It had wings of flame and eyes like suns. When it spoke, its voice felt older than time. You remember nothing. Daniel could barely breathe. Who are you? I am what remains of the first king. Daniel's heart pounded. The Dragon King? Yes. The golden figure stepped closer. They erased our names, burned our worlds, broke our thrones, but they could not erase blood. Daniel looked at his glowing finger. I'm just a ranger. The first king's eyes burned brighter. No, you are the return. Daniel shook his head. I don't know how to fight them. You do not need to know, the first king said calmly. You need to accept. The golden figure placed a burning hand on Daniel's chest. Pain exploded through him. Not physical pain, memory pain. He saw everything. Dragons ruling the stars. Humans bonded as equals. The Null Empire rising from nothingness. The genocide. The erasing of names from reality itself. The last dragon king falling. And before he fell, a promise hidden in blood. One day, the bond would awaken again. Daniel screamed as fire covered his body. The first king's voice echoed. They fear you because you are not bonded. You are royal. The frozen world shattered back in emotion. The warden's blade touched Daniel's chest and disintegrated. The warden stepped back. For the first time, it hesitated. Daniel dropped to the ground softly, but he was not weak anymore. Golden fire wrapped around him like armor. The red crown symbol in the sky transformed into blazing gold. The golden dragon rose to full height beside him. The wardens moved to attack again. Daniel raised his hand. He spoke in the first tongue. The sound tore through dimensions. Every warden screamed, not in pain, in distortion. Their bodies flickered violently. One by one, they shattered into black dust. Across the sky, the dragon armada roared louder. The Null Empire's planet breaker wavered. The mechanical voice echoed urgently. Royal status confirmed. Threat level maximum. The void dragon descended and landed behind Daniel like a mountain of flame. It lowered its massive head. Welcome back, my king. Daniel stood in the burning forest. Not just a ranger anymore. Not just bonded. Awakened. But the war was not over. The black tear in space widened. Clouds twisted inward. The tear screamed without sound. And something stepped through. It was not a ship. It was not a dragon. It was massive beyond understanding. A giant armored form carved from pure darkness. Sharp edges. Endless black metal that swallowed light. No wings. No fire. Only silence. Each movement made stars flicker. The alien leader whispered in terror. The Void Titan. The mechanical voice of the Null Empire returned. Primary eradication unit deployed. The Void Dragon's massive body tensed. Even the dragon army fell silent. Daniel felt it clearly. This was the weapon that ended Dragon Kings. The Titan lifted one enormous arm. Earth's gravity shifted instantly. Cars crushed into pavement. Buildings cracked. Humans everywhere fell to their knees. Daniel dropped again, body 10 times heavier. The golden dragon roared, fighting against invisible weight. The Titan spoke. Dragon King identified. Execution. A focused beam of pure darkness formed in its palm. It fired. 3 ancient dragons tried to shield Daniel. The beam passed through them. They did not explode. They vanished. Erased. The dragon army hesitated. Fear spread. The Titan stepped closer. Resistance is futile. The golden dragon roared louder than ever. Not just sound. Command. Daniel felt power ignite inside him again. The golden crown symbol cracked open. Light poured down like a pillar from the sky. It struck Daniel directly. The gravity pressure vanished around him. The Titan paused. Energy spike detected. Daniel rose slowly into the air. Golden flames became white. The dragon beside him transformed again. Molten gold shifting into starbright white. The void dragon bowed deeply. Not respect. Recognition. The Titan fired again. Daniel raised his hand. The beam split in half. The forest remained untouched. The Titan's head tilted. Anomaly expanding. Daniel understood now. The first king had fought alone. And lost. He would not. He closed his eyes. He reached through the bond. Not just his dragon. To every dragon. He felt them. Pain. Fear. Loyalty. He spoke into their minds. Not as ruler. As equal. Stand with me. Silence. Then, every dragon turned toward him. The void dragon included. The Titan lifted both hands. 2 spheres of compressed darkness formed. Final purge. The alien leader shouted in desperation. If it releases both cores, the planet will collapse. Daniel opened his eyes. White fire burned in them now. The golden dragon flew toward the Titan. Alone, the Titan released one dark sphere. It struck the dragon. Light and darkness exploded across the atmosphere. Daniel screamed. The bond flared violently, but the dragon did not fall. It pushed forward through void energy. Cracks spread across the Titan's chest. The second sphere charged faster. Daniel understood something in that moment. Power alone was not enough. The first king had fought as a king. He would fight as something else. Not ruler. Protector. The Titan raised the second sphere, and Earth began to break beneath it. The second dark sphere above the void Titan pulsed like a dying star. Every heartbeat made it larger. Below, oceans twisted unnaturally. Storms formed across continents. Fault lines trembled. Cities cracked. The planet itself was beginning to fail. Daniel floated in white flame, high above the shattered forest. The golden dragon, no, the royal dragon, burned beside him like a newborn sun. The void dragon and the armada circled defensively, but none could reach the Titan in time. The alien leader's voice echoed from below. If that core releases fully, Earth collapses inward. Daniel felt it. Not just fear. Wait. Billions of lives. The Titan spoke again, its voice grinding like collapsing metal. Royal anomaly must be removed. History must remain erased. History. That word struck something deeper than power. Daniel closed his eyes for a single breath. He didn't reach for the first tongue. He didn't reach for ancient fire. He reached for humanity. He felt it. People holding each other in fear. Children crying. Soldiers frozen mid-command. Strangers praying. Hearts beating. Humans had survived extinction-level events before. Ice ages. Plagues. Wars. They were fragile, but they endured. Daniel opened his eyes. The white fire around him changed. It was no longer dragon flame. It became silver white. Calm. Steady. The golden dragon felt it instantly and roared, not in rage. In alignment. The white light spread across Earth like sunrise. People everywhere felt warmth in their chests. Not burning. Strength. The Titan released the second sphere. It fell toward Earth like a black moon. Daniel raised both hands. But this time, he did not command. He asked. Through the bond, through the light, through every dragon in the sky, and every human on the ground. Stand with me. And they did. The dragon army's flames turned white. Across cities, across oceans, across forests. The silver light rose upward from Earth itself. Not magic. Will. The dark sphere collided with the expanding white shield. The impact turned night into pure day. Shock waves rippled through space. Silence followed. When the light faded, the sphere was gone. Not blocked. Erased. The void Titan staggered. Its cracked armor split open further. Its mechanical voice faltered. Energy source, planetary. Daniel understood then. The Titan was not evil. It was built, programmed to erase what it did not understand, to prevent royal blood from rising again. The Titan raised one final arm, but its movements were unstable now. The dragon armada attacked together. Fire, lightning, plasma, all focused on the cracks. Daniel rose higher. The golden dragon flew beside him. They did not look like king and beast anymore. They looked like equals. Daniel spoke in the first tongue one final time, but the words were not of war. They were of memory, truth, restoration. Images flooded the battlefield. The Null Empire's genocide, the erased names, the lost thrones, the forgotten alliances between dragons and humans. The Titan trembled violently. Directive conflict. Daniel reached out. I will not erase you, he said calmly. I will end this. The golden dragon unleashed a unified roar. Every dragon answered. One breath, one flame, white. The fire struck the Titan's core. Its armor melted. Its darkness folded inward. The mechanical voice shattered into distortion. Control lost. The void Titan collapsed into itself. Not exploding, unraveling. Darkness imploded into harmless starlight. And then, it was gone. The black structure of the Null Empire flickered in panic. Its voice returned one last time. Retreat. The massive city ship vanished into the tear in space. The remaining ships followed. The tear sealed slowly. The sky began to clear. Storms faded. Gravity stabilized. The stars returned. Silence. Dragons hovered across Earth's atmosphere, watching, waiting. Daniel descended slowly back into the forest. The white fire faded from his body. His feet touched solid ground. Exhaustion crashed into him like a wave. The golden dragon landed beside him. Smaller now, stable, no longer radiating unstable power. The void dragon descended last. Its massive body lowered. "All dragons recognize you," it said. Daniel shook his head gently. "I don't want a throne." The void dragon studied him for a long moment. "You have already chosen differently." Daniel looked around at the broken forest. "It doesn't need a king," he said quietly. "It needs guardians." The void dragon's ancient eyes softened. "The first king ruled through flame. You rule through balance." Daniel corrected him. "No, I protect through balance." A long silence passed. Then something unexpected happened. The void dragon bowed, not as subject, as acknowledgement. One by one, every dragon in the sky bowed, not to a king, to a world. The golden dragon stepped forward and lowered its head to earth, not in submission, in alliance. The red crown, symbol that once burned in the sky, reappeared faintly, then dissolved into starlight. No throne, no empire. The void dragon spoke one final time. "The dragon blood bond will remain, but it will not call war again." Daniel looked up. "And the Null Empire? They will remember this," the void dragon replied. "And they will fear awakening what they tried to erase." The dragon armada began to move, not retreating in defeat, returning to the stars. One by one, fiery portals opened. Dragons passed through, until only the void dragon remained. It looked at Daniel. "The age of dragon kings has ended." Daniel placed his hand on the golden dragon's head. "What begins now?" The void dragon's massive wings spread slowly. "The age of guardians." And then it was gone. The sky returned to blue. Weeks later, governments tried to explain the event. They failed. Half the footage was corrupted. Satellites recorded impossible energy signatures. Scientists debated. Religions shifted. But no invasion followed. No warships returned. The forest slowly healed. Birds came back first, then insects, then deer. Daniel rebuilt his cabin with his own hands. He refused interviews, refused titles, refused power. One quiet morning, he sat outside with a cup of coffee. The golden dragon, now the size of a large wolf, lay beside him in the grass. No flames, no glowing crown, just breathing quietly. Through the bond, Daniel felt something simple. Peace. He finally understood what the first king never did. Power was not meant to rule. It was meant to protect. Far beyond the solar system, in the silent dark, ancient eyes watched Earth, not as prey, not as threat, as ally. History had tried to erase the bond once. It failed, because this time, humanity remembered, and somewhere deep in space, the Null Empire archived a single classified update. Royal bloodline active. Direct confrontation unsuccessful. Monitor. Do not provoke. On Earth, a ranger and a dragon watched the sunrise. No throne of fire. No crown in the sky. Just balance. The age that was erased had returned. Not as empire, as memory. And memory cannot be erased twice.